So, Mick Billing, Thor Mining, busy year.
It's been a very busy year, David. We've accomplished a lot, and if you compare where we are now with where we were 12 months ago, well, we have come a long way, but there's a lot more to do. There really is.
So what's been your big highlight, do you think, for this year from your various projects?
I think it's all about Molly Hill. There's 2 or 3 particular milestones at Molly Hill that stand out, but if you put them all together, it's taking Molly Hill from something that we believe should happen to something that is now an absolutely compelling case must happen.
So over what sort of time scale do you think that happening of coming into commercial production will reasonably take place? And what do you need to do now to achieve that goal of commercial production?
In the first instance, we've got to sort the finance. Without the finance, it's just anecdotal, I guess. So that process is underway. There's a number of people interested and want to come in and be part of it, but realistically it doesn't happen in a couple of months. I would hope around the end of the first quarter, early the following, that's all done and dusted. Without underwriting that time frame. If that does happen in that time frame, though, there's a 12-month construction period, and we'll be out there with dozers and graders and welders and things like that, building the Molly Hill project and plant.
So, other than financing, what's the situation with regard to permitting?
That's all done and dusted, David. We've had approval from the EPA for a number of years now to do what we want to do, and they've confirmed that that approval is still current. We have agreements with the traditional owners, the Aboriginal folk, to go onto their land and mine and build a process plant, mine and extract the metal. There's one final piece of the puzzle with permitting, which is known as a mining management plan. That when we finally submit that, we also have to submit a bond for about $2.5 million.
Is it for the reclamation at the end?
That's correct. And so you don't submit that, obviously, until you've got your finance in place, because if for some reason things went awry and the finance took a while to turn up, well, getting that bond back could take some time.
So looking forward to next year then, if finance comes through, 12 months for construction, so you're looking at starting cash flow something 12 months after the financing comes through.
That's what I believe. That's a reasonable time frame, I think.
Yeah. So as well as the tungsten projects, you've also got some copper projects as well, and in particular you've got an in-situ recovery one. Can you tell a little bit about that? Because not many people are familiar with using in-situ recovery for copper as opposed to open pits or conventional bulk shifting of it. So tell us a little bit about ISR copper.
Yeah, ISR is used predominantly for uranium. It's also used for the recovery of potash. A lot of potash production around the world is done by in-situ recovery mechanisms. Copper is not unheard of, but it's much less common. It happens in a couple of places in Arizona, in the US, and some in Russia. It's a process where you need almost uniquely ideal conditions across a number of items for it to work and work reliably and successfully. The area needs to be bound by relatively impermeable rocks around it, so that if there is any escape of fluid that dissolves the copper, it can't get out. It needs to, the rocks themselves where you have that contain the copper in this instance have to be permeable or porous, so that the fluid can pass through them and dissolve the copper on the way through. Equally, there needs to be, you need to be comfortable that in the mineralisation where the copper is, you're not going to dissolve a whole bunch of other things that you really don't want.
So the fact that there's very few ISR copper projects around the world is because you need this sort of unique combination of features for it to actually work.
That partially, yes, but also partially because, and therein lies an opportunity. There's there's a number of copper deposits around the globe that we believe may be accessible and recoverable by ISR technology, And that is for us low-hanging fruit in the future. But in the first instance, we've got to demonstrate proof of concept with Kapunda and Vic and that going. But there's a few other targets around of a similar style where we think there is an opportunity going forward.
So what are you going to be doing over the next year or so with the Kapunda ISR project? We look forward to?
We're advancing the technical feasibility process for Kapunda. There's a bunch of field tests coming up in the next year that will continue to tick the boxes that need to be ticked to say we are that everything does work and that there are nothing unexpected is a showstopper. We're also talking a lot with the local community because the social licence to do something like ISR right next to a town is critical. If we don't get that, we probably won't have a project.
But you could almost argue an ISR project is a remediation project, surely. If you've got copper very close to the town going into the watercourse, this is a way of actually cleaning up.
That is correct. In some ways you would be doing the local community a bit of a favour because there are copper values in some deposits of this nature that are actually so concentrated they're quite toxic. And by taking them out, you're actually cleaning the environment up a little bit in the local area.
So to conclude with, are there any questions that I haven't asked that I should have asked?
I think you've done a very good job, David. I think we should keep you on the investor team.
Thank you very much, Mick.